We're in an age now where digital customers are out there, they're online, they have most of the control, you know they're out there, you can reach them instantly, they can reach you instantly, but we need to talk about how to manage that effectively. This is a multi-segment discussion about the new digital customer and what businesses can do to keep those customers and attract more. My name is Butch Stearns from the Pulse Network. Alan Bondi, the CMO of the Pulse, is alongside, and we also have Jamie Anderson, who's the Director of Global Solutions Marketing for SAP. Alan, in this segment of our discussion, we want to talk about leveraging your own assets, what you actually have. So we're talking to a client. How do you start assessing and analyzing what you actually have as assets?
So this is where we want to kind of break things down to what can businesses do right now. Now, we've talked a little bit about CRM. That's really the delivery of the service information, the marketing information, the sales information, obviously tracking it from the back end and knowing what people want and how to serve up the right things. But back to something we said at the beginning of this part of the discussion, every business is a content business, and we think that businesses have assets in terms of the know-how that they have. So what information, what experts, what expertise can they serve up, can they offer into these discussions that essentially provide value, not just as we're a brand, but we're an advisor, we're an expert, we can help you.
And let's amplify it before we bring Jamie in with the survey from Nielsen, which shows that while people trust 90% of recommendations from people they know, they trust 70% of the ones that come from brand websites. There's still value out there for you.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think the types of information that you serve up is really important in the right context so that it supports the types of information people want at that point in time.
So let's bring Jamie, let's bring you into this discussion now, Jamie, about how your network has value, how your know-how has value. I mean, you should think about your expertise and how you can leverage that, shouldn't you?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're a large software business, and one of the most successful parts, from our perspective, from a social perspective, is the whole SAP Developer Network, SDN. And that has really, what social media has allowed us to do in that respect is open up to our global, customer base, our partner base, and put them in touch with experts who blog on topics, who will talk about new release cycles for products, who will actually help almost provide a first line of support between the expert themselves and also other people in the community who can contribute. Now, what you're doing is we're harnessing the power of that rather than controlling any conversations. And I think, again, that's what it's all about. That gives us the power to unlock our network and get the right people, in front of the customers and partners that matter.
And Alan, when we look at the current state of social media, let's point to this Media Bistro article, for example. I mean, we know the numbers, they're staggering. Facebook is up to more than 800 million active users. Twitter, 200 million registered profiles, more than 254 million. LinkedIn, 64 million users. Google Plus continues to pick up steam. I mean, it continues.
And I think what's neat is, to Jamie's point, that the ability to tap your network's network. And I think this is where we start seeing the amplification really take off, is the community of developers around SAP, for example, is an incredible asset. But each one of those individuals have their own network. They have their presence on Facebook and on Google Plus, and they're tweeting. And I think this is where, from a social marketer's perspective, it's all about amplification. It's sort of supporting those discussions, providing a forum so that they can be very fruitful. They're valuable not just for the community, but also injecting experts, nuggets, infographics into that community so that the community essentially is motivated to spread the word out through their network as well.
There's that word community, and coming up in the final part of our discussion, we will get into that. We know the importance of content. We've talked about how to create it and share it and engage with your digital customer, but the importance of community is how we'll wrap this all up in our final segment. You are listening to a discussion about the new digital customer and what businesses can do to keep customers and attract more. I'm Butch Stearns of the Pulse Network.